Hello friends, Curtis here. I'm headed out to Starbase in Boca Chica, Texas. Decided to make a video about what it's like coming down here. I've been coming down here for 4 or 5 years, and a lot of people ask me, why are you going down there? What is it? What's Starbase? What is Starship? What are they doing? And what is Boca Chica? I'll show you. I'm driving down there now. I'm on Highway 4, about 3 or 4 miles out. And so basically Starbase is a launch facility, a spaceport, if you will, a launch facility for SpaceX. They built the largest rocket ever built, hopefully the largest orbital rocket soon. And it is about 400 foot tall when it's totally stacked. The rocket is supposed to carry the heaviest payload ever designed by anyone, and it's exciting to me because we're doing it right here in Texas, in an area that needs the industry. Brownsville area needs the industry, and it's been a big help to them. But anyway, it's just an interesting place. Also, if you come down here, there is a beautiful beach right at the launch pad, and you can go and visit that most any day of the year. You can literally drive on the beach to Mexico. It's about 1.5 miles from the entrance to the beach. Take a right and drive on the beach down to the mouth of the Rio Grande River, and it is very beautiful. The launch facility here is unique because it's really designed to return ships from space. That's the unique piece of this spacecraft. The launch tower is designed to actually catch the rocket as it comes back in and lands, and it can catch the first stage and the second stage, restack the rocket, refuel the rocket, and rapidly reuse the rocket. So that's the design concept. What they're about to do is going to be this first orbital launch, which hopefully will be tomorrow, but they've got launch dates scheduled through the weekend and into about Tuesday of next week. So I plan on staying here and watching that. There's places to stay down here. You can go to Rocket Ranch, which is, I think I'm passing the entrance to that right now. And that's a cool place to stay for dry camping. There's no facilities there, but most people stay on South Padre, which is where I'm at. Isla Blanca Park is the biggest RV park in the area if you come into RVs, and there's lots of hotels and things on South Padre. Plenty of things to do there. Fishing, surfing, whatever water sport you're into, they've got it there. Lots of bay fishing, and then they've also got ocean trips. One of the things you can see as you're driving in down here is when you get quite a distance away, you can see the rocket factory and the launch facility on the far right. We're still quite a ways away, and the rocket is totally stacked right now. So the rocket factory itself is just a big complex of a lot of little fab shops and buildings. It really reminds me of my construction days at Comanche Peak. We were building the nuclear plant. It's really the same kind of vibe. There's hundreds and thousands of people all with little fab jobs, and welders and pipe fitters and electricians and just all the different trades, employing a lot of people. There you can see a lot of new starships being built. So these tankers are loading liquid oxygen and methane, and it's really amazing to me that they let us drive this close to all of this stuff going on. But once you get past all of that, you're just coming onto the beach. It's like you leave all of the industry and you head right onto the beach. That's one of the things that appealed to me. There's a bunch of pelicans there going to get their breakfast, I guess. Pretty amazing. I'll just take a right and head towards Mexico. Or maybe you just like to get by yourself. Here's Boca Chica Beach, and it's a place where you can really get by yourself. We've been down here several times. The beach shoreline goes all the way south down to the entrance of the Rio Grande River, border with Mexico, and you can go back to the north towards Padre Island for a few miles as well. I've had no trouble driving the car or this truck down here, so I think one thing to pay attention to is tide. Sometimes when the tide is high, the beach gets kind of skinny, but other than that, it's a decent place to get by yourself. So this is the mouth of the Rio Grande River. We're looking across the river at Mexico, and you can see there are some people over there. Looks like some people out having fun on the beach. Beautiful seashore. I was able to drive all the way down here in my truck. On the beach, had to drive through a little bit of water to get to it, but it was no problem getting through. Right behind me, kind of in the distance, I don't know if you can see it, it looks like some type of a lighthouse structure. But beautiful place, solitude, lots of bird life, pelicans everywhere. It's a beautiful place to sit out. There's that lighthouse I was talking about. You can see on the Mexico side, lots of visitors. Folks like to get out there. I see some fishermen. Tons of birds everywhere. Beautiful, beautiful seashore. All right, hopefully that truck will get me back out of here. Driving back from Mexico, headed back on Boca Chica Beach, back to Starship. See it stacked off in the distance, about a mile away. Beautiful little drive. Quite a few things washing up on the beach, a lot of tires and stuff like that. They come down here every now and then and pick those up. And I probably should have picked up a few things myself as I was going through there, but I was trying to drive, and you can see how skinny the beach gets in here. So you get waves right up to your tires. Actually, I had to drive through some water to get through some of this, but it's cool. One of the things that's kind of interesting about the stack, if you're not familiar with Starship, is the launch tower is actually designed to stack the spacecraft and to actually catch the returning spacecraft. People may not know that. That's going to be a feat that's never been done before. But it's got these catcher arms up at the top that, as a ship comes back, either the first stage or the second stage, it comes into position and hovers, and the arms close in on catch pins, and then it sets it down on its launch mount. They do have some spacecraft, the Falcon 9, that comes back. The first stage comes back and lands with landing legs. This ship was just too heavy to do that. They actually were successful at doing it a couple of times, and they decided it was not worth the extra weight to put heavy enough legs on these things to land them. And so they decided to go with this method so that they could increase the payload carrying capacity of the ship. And so that's probably smart thinking. For the lunar lander, it will have legs, but you don't have the gravity on the moon, so the legs don't have to be that stout, and it will not come back and land on Earth. So it's basically just a spacecraft. Once it gets up there, it's going to stay up there. It'll land on the moon. You know, one of the things that people don't know a lot about is this factory is designed to build a lot of starships. So you can see there are 3 in the Mega Bay and the High Bay. They are being assembled. So there are 3 going right there. There's some more over in the rocket garden. Some are just static display that are abandoned, and some of them are actually going to be used. So there's a lot of rocket ships out here. This is one of the places I always try to get a picture in front of the Starbase sign. There's always somebody parked in front of it, but today there's not. Looking around, I talked to one of the construction workers here today, and I told him, I said, this is the biggest construction site, except for a nuclear power plant, that I've ever been around. And it was very similar to the kind of the vibe that you get at a nuclear power plant, especially in the early days of construction, where there's fab shops everywhere, welding everywhere, lots of stainless steel being fabricated and welded, and it just kind of has that vibe to it. So for those of y'all that have been involved in that environment, that's exactly what this is like. And it is it's a little wild, actually, just to see everything, and you can get so close to everything. You can walk up to the rockets here. They're just over my shoulder, and you can get within 50 or 60 feet of those rockets. Even the rocket that's about to launch, you know, when you're down on the beach, you're about 300, 400 yards away from it, so you're really close. I mean, it's so big, it's just there. So I would really encourage anybody to take a visit down here if you're interested, kind of a space nerd, or even if you're not, just want to get away and see a spectacle. This is quite the spectacle to see, and it will be historic when this thing lights off. I'm so close in here, I can't even zoom out enough to get all of these rockets in, but I'm literally 50 feet from the rockets. This is called the Rocket Garden, and I'm as far as I can go. I'm up against the private property, but yeah, these things are big. A relatively new addition to the SpaceX complex. They bought a gun range that was out here called Massey's Gun Range, and they did that so they could do some cryogenic testing and things that they were having to shut Highway 4, Boca Chica Boulevard, down for. And they were trying to minimize the number of days a year that they closed that road. So they bought this facility, and I noticed that Massey's gun range has moved a few miles up the road. I'm sure that gun range is a lot nicer now. But anyway, this facility is really set up for that. They've got some ships out here that I think they're just using for to build their test apparatus on. I don't think these are being tested. They're just they're building the platforms and the mounting in the stands to mount the different things that they may try to do some testing out here. But you can see they've got places for different sections of the assembly where it can mount on the stand, and then they'll be doing pressure testing, and they can do that without disrupting the travel down Highway 4.